Welcome to Beyond I2. Who do we got in the house? We got Andre. We got Alex. We got little girl.
Andre.
We got Naquila. And we got Guzman.
We got Puerto Rican.
Got Puerto Rican sauce.
Dante, because he's got
he got a little
Gabe's little mustache and his little Dante little goatee. You know what I'm saying? For those that missed it, before we were recording, we were laughing at the fact that my dad can't remember anyone's name. So Alize told us he calls her little girl. And she's a full-on adult on staff. And then he just found out Andy's name over here wasn't Andrew. It was Andy. If you like my shirt, I did it last episode. I didn't have a chance to change, so I got this cool shirt called "I Can Do All Things." Well, that's not what it's called, but that's what it says on here. I can do all things through Jesus. In the back, it says "Through Jesus." It's really cool. It's puff print. It's made on like Shaka. For those, everybody's been complimenting me. For those that want to get it, young guy I met on Sunday who's in the church, and his Instagram. Let me give it. Anyone get it? He got a bunch of colors. He got red, blue, black, blah blah blah. It's divinestudio.la. Divinestudio.la. You'll see one of his recent posts was one of him coming to church on Sunday. So you want to get really cool shirts. So I like supporting people who are trying to do the grind, get that merch out there. So really cool shirt. I've been getting a lot of everybody thought that we made it because we do a lot of merch, but I said nope. I got blessed. So it's good to see everybody here. Is everybody looking it up right now? It's so quiet. Everybody has their phones out.
I was, and then I was realizing what you were trying to send is because, there's like no service.
Yeah, and for those that don't know yet, we rebuild our studio. We're in a new area. You can't tell because the team did such a good job. It's actually a little wider, which is nice. It's kind of cool. I feel like there's more space behind me and in front of me, which is really cool. So we moved the studio to another portion because, like we shared last week's episode,
beautiful babies together.
There you go. There you go. Get ready. That's a clip. We're getting ready. And we got a new podcast coming out like we shared our last episode. So our old studio is now the new one, the Bible Club one, and now we have this one. And I'm surprised we've now almost done this a year. We're about to hit our 2-year anniversary for Beyond the Letter, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
And 1-year anniversary for Beyond I Do's coming up. When's it coming up, Nancy?
So it's coming up, I think it's...
We can't hear you. You got to unmute.
Repeat it. So yeah, it should be the first or second week of October. So.
There we go. So we're hitting our 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And in all the years, I'm surprised we've never made a mistake and forgot to switch the signs behind each other. We've always...
Go team.
Team's always down. What a great team.
Good job, Andrew.
Okay, I had something that I recently saw, and I just thought it was absolutely ludicrous. And then, but I thought it'd be a good conversation because maybe, I mean, it's a great conversation for married couples to have, even when you're dating. But like, how far is too far in being kind to someone that's hitting on you or trying to pick you up? Like, and predominantly, what should be the demeanor of a married woman? Should a man not see the ring, not pay? I don't know. Maybe he sees it, maybe he doesn't, not pays attention, but is offering to pick a girl up. And so there's a video that went viral online, and the woman says she's married, and she does not walk away. And so, she has a little conversation with him. So that's why it went viral, because every person's in the comments going, remind me to never get married, and so, yeah. So go ahead and let's hear the audio of the clip. They're at the beach, so that's context. So they're at the beach. He approaches her.
Do you speak English?
Yes.
Yo, you're very sexy. What's your name?
Oh, thanks. Taylor.
Taylor, can I get your number?
No, I'm married.
Why? Why? I did all that for nothing?
No, I'm sure. Listen.
Look at this.
Listen, you're very attractive.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you're very hot. I thought we could make beautiful babies together.
We could. Maybe in another life.
Wait. Do you have a boyfriend, I'm assuming?
I have a husband.
Oh, my God. Oh, okay.
Right?
No. Congrats. No worries. Do your thing.
There are lots
I think
of
it's
women
over.
on this beach that are... I'm serious.
Are you from here?
No, I'm from DC. I mean, yeah, originally I'm in Miami, but...
Damn. I mean, like, this is gonna sound strong, but you're sexy.
Thank you.
Take it as a compliment.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You're very beautiful. I wish you the best of luck in your marriage.
Oh, thanks.
For
But
now.
Yeah, listen, you're gonna.
where are you from originally? DC?
No,
Why
so
is
I
she
was
still
born
talking?
here in Miami,
She ain't leaving at all.
and I moved all over, but now I'm in DC.
Oh.
Yeah, how about
okay.
you?
I'm from LA actually,
Really?
but I live out here. I go back and forth a lot. You know, it's a lot of
Nice.
back and forth.
Yeah. Where
It's just
in, LA
super
are you?
humid here, you know?
Dude, so my parents were in San Diego for a while, and
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
oh really?
But I moved to LA, yeah. Then I moved here.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I love this place. I was out in San Diego, like the Encinitas area, for a little bit.
Yeah.
Might as well go to lunch together.
Right.
It's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but like East Coast is my place.
Yeah.
So, when'd you move to Miami?
December.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so recent.
Yeah, December.
Oh, how are you liking it?
I never
I
got
like
this
it.
far in
It's
the clip.
different. It's different. LA is just like, I don't know, too much traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do
you know?
do?
Yeah, we gotta end it because she's gonna take in my whole podcast. Just getting to know
she's
this
on
man.
a date right now.
Literally. Okay, so for me, I'll say I've been approached before, but I cut it short, sweet. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, nice. Okay, keep it pushing. I'm that type of person. There's one thing that would have turned me off completely. The word sexy. You are too immature if you're using sexy to me. Like I am grown. I am a grown woman. I need sexy to me is not is something obviously that you would call me as being my husband. But and even in that, the word beautiful, I think hits more. The word sexy that he used in that is a word that I feel like people like to receive when they are single or have a mindset of single. Like the word to me,
it's a very you know, it's a sexual term,
right?
And there's you know, you could say like, oh, a car could drive by, you can say, oh, that's a sexy car,
right?
We can, you know, the word itself is not a bad word. It's the connotation that yes,
Literally,
if you're you know, Aaron has always made a joke that Erica, his wife, is his sexy Mexi.
Yes.
And it's like, that's his wife.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I've even heard from older folks before, they're like, I don't like when you say that, which I understand because there is also a generational gap on that word as well, just as a whole. Like,
Right.
but more millennials and younger, we normally use that as a term of like when something's really cool or really attractive. But then you go into like a pickup line for anyone, married or not, that is now put into a sexual terminology.
100%.
Say a woman's sexy, like you are, you know, it's not like a girlfriend telling her you are immediately, exemplifying and glorifying her, more than likely her bodily figure and her body of what you're trying to compliment. And
right.
yeah, but I mean, what do you think? Like, at what point do you think she crossed the line in her marriage?
She crossed the line after he said, "Oh, you are sexy," and she goes, "Thank you," and he goes, it maybe
you'd
took
have to
some
watch
long,
it again,
yeah,
but-
it took some time before she goes, "I'm married. Thank you so much for the compliment. Hope you have a great day."
Yeah.
Keep it pushing. What are we talking about? But in that moment, the way that she kept talking only leads me to believe, and this is my own narrative, if you were to look at it as a woman or a married woman, there is no excuse, and what's sad is the fact that she, on her end, in her mind, hasn't been called that in a minute, or in her relationship, she doesn't feel that her husband has ever valued her in that light of things. Or it's her even insecurity to say like, yeah, I still got it. Because as women, full transparency, like you, if a woman says, oh, you're handsome, that feels good. Even though it may not be your spouse, it does feel good to say like, I still got it. But then keep it pushing. And it's not something where I need to go and tell, I don't know, who gives what? I got a man came and hit on me. No, that's not the thing. It's, I appreciate your compliment. I appreciate your gesture. It's very kind of you. Thank you. But I got to keep it pushing. I think that within her relationship, her mindset, her thought, she's in Miami. She's got a low-cut bathing suit on. You're screaming for attention. You're wanting that attention, and you want it bad from what you have on, because she didn't turn around, but if I'm assuming it was a thong on the backside, if I were to completely be honest. And so that demeanor and her reason of being there, it didn't show. So I'm assuming she's probably on a bachelorette party or she's hanging out with her girlfriends, because
Whatever.
in that
I think she said she moved there. She lives there now.
yeah,
or something. Yeah,
because if it was my husband, and if I'll be like, hey, thanks, my husband's right over there. Okay, appreciate you. And a lot of people would be like, yeah, right. You would probably, no, I would. Because in the back of my mind.
And I've gotten like, you've been approached before or whatever, and you say you're married, and I'll walk up and guys will come, they'll walk up to me and be like, oh yeah, bro, like, good job. That's your girl. And I always, cut them off. I go, that's the mother of my children. That's who that is. That's my wife.
Right.
That's also the mother of my children. So homie, watch
Respect.
out. Watch out, homie.
Right.
Like, I don't need to hear from you that she's bad.
Right.
Oh, you got bad. Bro, that's the mother of my children.
Absolutely.
Watch it. And they'll be like, oh man, my bad. I'm like, we cool.
Yeah.
We cool. But I'm telling you right now, like you better watch out on how you approach someone.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate the compliment, but you use some better words.
Absolutely.
And they're always like, oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. I just don't understand what was taking place. Like there's one, it'd be different if you were like fully clothed and like she was walking down the street and she's in something like this and he was like, oh my gosh, you're just a very beautiful woman. And she'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But like, you're sexy. Like completely stops her in her tracks. She totally, she was going to walk by him until she said, you're sexy.
She even complimented him back. And
Right.
was like, I
you're
think you're attractive too. I was like,
excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. Like, and at that point, what in your mind and your thought was thinking about that you were married? No, you were thinking about the compliments that you can give and the attention that you want to receive.
Yeah.
To make yourself feel better.
And I think sometimes there's the excuse of, even maybe not in marriage, but when you're dating somebody, like, oh, I was just being nice, or I'm just a friendly person.
If you ask my husband, I will walk out of a bathroom with a best friend. And he's like, who was that? And we're like, I don't know. But for me, there's a line that is crossed when you don't have your marriage and your priority in order, and knowing that any conversation could possibly, I would never want my husband to be scared of me going into a room with men or women to have a conversation that wouldn't justify him. When someone looks at me, I always want to be a resemblance of him. Any conversation we talk, if you hear him go in a room, he's talking about me. And that's even in his Christian rooms. He's uplifting his wife. Any conversation I have, even with opposite sex, I'm talking about him. Oh, if you knew him, he's got this, he's got that, he got this, he's got... Even when we went to Tulum, where we met those guys, and they're like, you're doing this, and that is so cool. You're doing it with your wife, and blah, 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 blah. Like, there's never a point in time where I, as a wife, want to leave a conversation and question how I acted, or how, if Adam was standing right there, how he would have reacted to my response to that person.
Yeah.
If I can be okay with how I responded, thank you so much, I appreciate your compliment, and keep it pushing. It's one thing to receive a compliment. Yeah, receive the compliment. It's another thing to engage. Mm-hmm. She didn't need to engage. She didn't need to. In that moment, if I'm the husband looking at that.
Well, him saying, we'd make cute kids, and she goes, yeah, in another life we would.
In another life we would.
Like almost every statement she said.
She affirmed him.
Right.
Affirmed him and dishonored her husband. Right now,
100%.
Her husband has a job, friends, whatever. They're all looking at him like, hey, bro, that's you? Like,
right.
That's yours?
Yeah.
Like, just immediately, like, let alone, because the husband could be like, yeah, I don't mind it. But it's like, but to the outside world and to other people, like, she dishonored you.
100%.
You may be okay with it.
Yeah.
You may or may not. But let's just say you were okay with it. Like, she's brought dishonor to you as a man. That there's an inkling that, quote unquote, in another life,
right,
she would find this guy you're very, whatever she said, you're very cute too, or hot too, or whatever she said, and yeah, maybe we would make cute kids. And then, where are you from? Like, who cares where this dude is from?
Right. What, are you gonna connect?
I'd be like,
You're doing too much.
I'd be like, he about to be in an alley from an alley, like,
right.
about to.
So did you guys, when you guys first got married, or maybe you found this out during dating, but did you guys have to like ask yourselves what kind of boundaries you wanted to place? Because maybe like for one person, it's okay to get their IG handle. That's not a big deal. But for the other person, it's like, no, that bothers me. So did you guys have to like figure out certain things? Like, some I think are obvious. You're not going to give your phone number.
Yeah.
But there's, I think, sometimes certain things that you're like, oh, talking to somebody for 5-10 minutes, that's fine. But the other person's like, that's way too long. 2 responses max or whatever. Like,
You know, in the beginning of our relationship and our marriage, I would say that because I came obviously from more leading out of the secular lifestyle, and I was still clubbing and partying and everything like that, and trying to get my walk right with Christ when we first met. And like, I knew Christ, but like I could still go to the club. And at the club, you get hit on. And at the club, what you're wanting to do, you get free drinks. You're at the club, you're wanting to petition and show yourself off so that the bouncers tell the guys that have the sections to go and pull the prettiest girls into their section. So I know the whole schemes on how to get into a section. So for me, with him and me wanting to do it right with him, I knew there was places and spaces I could no longer go because that is something within my flesh I had to fight. Because I'd be like, I'll get in this section. I ain't going to talk to him. I ain't going to do nothing to him. And he has to trust me. But there was moments in our relationship where we had to sit down and he had to be like, I'm not comfortable with you going there, not because I don't trust you. I don't trust them enough to not handle you properly or to make yourself less than to have to do those things, because I want to be the one to supply for you. I want to be the one to experience those things with you. So early on we did have some little like bickering here and there as far as like me wanting it, because my sister's still young and she was still in the, like hanging out and going places and stuff. And it really came down to like, Ashley, you have to realize drinking and partying was something that my flesh would fight because I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed being the life of the party, the fun one, getting the group of girls in the section.
Yeah, like entertaining
I ain't talking
people,
to none of
yeah.
them, but I'm getting the free stuff. Like, but that's not how I need to live, and that's not how I wanted to live, and that's not how I wanted.
Well,
him
and at
to-
the end of the day, it a lot of that stuff, it does dishonor me.
It did, yeah.
So to her,
yeah.
she's saying, well, I didn't talk to those guys. I'm like, but those guys provided something for you that they could easily say, I couldn't. You know, well, where's your goofy boyfriend? He can't get a VIP. And guess what? I was 23 years old. No, I couldn't afford a VIP table. So
Right.
yeah, you do have guys that in themselves, they are being validated.
Right.
They're being validated by you. Them guys don't want to be your friend on Instagram. Like, they're being validated by, there's an ounce, majority of men, there's an ounce of them that you follow them back. You engage them. You have they're thinking, I'm one step closer to getting with this person or getting this person or unfortunately there are men and women who don't care about the sanctity of marriage. So you tell, I'm married. What does that mean? Everything you do after that defines whether you are married or not.
Right.
The statement I'm married. Oh, well, I started talking to that guy because I made it clear to him I would never, be with him because I told him I was married. You had a 45-minute conversation. Like you talked about colleges you went to. You talked about what cities you're from. You talked about how much. It don't matter that you told that person you married. Everything you did from that point on defined whether you were in a committed relationship or not, defined whether you were in a loving relationship or not. And for some people, that may sound really extreme, but I'm a person of faith. I'm a Christian. I believe in longevity of marriage. A lot of people who don't believe in those things don't really believe in the longevity of marriage. I'm trying to make it for the long run. I'm trying to make it to the end of our life married. So, if I have very strict ways that I'm trying to protect our marriage, you would do that as a parent. You would put boundary around your kids to protect the longevity of them, right? So it's like, we're putting boundaries on each other to be like, hey, this is what is a line for me. So like one of them for me is when we were dating, she had a friend who was a professional football player, and I had, her parents were good friends with him because she went to college with him, but now he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Ashley was like, yeah, I'm invited to the game. And we're like really serious dating. And I'm just like, she's like, I'm flying with my parents and we're going to stay at his house. I think you stayed at his house or a hotel.
Hotel.
But we're going to his house. And, I'm like, okay. At first I'm like, all right, you got a friend. He's a male. That's cool. All right. I asked her one time, have you guys ever had a thing? No, he's liked me before in the past, but I've never saw him like that. And I'm like, okay, well, should he have the chance? He would, he would date you. So, okay. And then she was at the house and he said, he's African-American. I'm obviously Hispanic. And he asked her a question. He said, how's your little chalupa going or quesadilla going?
Something like
He said
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like, how's your little chalupa going? So he makes like a racist remark because I'm Hispanic and says, how's your little chalupa going? And she's like, Ashley laughs it off. You know, that's what she tells me. Because I'm like, what did you say when he said that? Oh, I just laughed. I said, you're good. And his name's Adam and blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, well, hey, I'm just going to let you know, if you ever talk to that guy again, lose my number. And she's like, what? And I'm like, you laughed at another man disrespecting me.
Yeah.
You should have said, hey man, thank you for hosting us. I'm heading out. And him go, what are you doing? What? That's my boyfriend. I love that guy. We were literally talking about marriage and all this. Like, I love this guy. You're not going to be my friend, and you're not going to talk about the person I love. I said, that's what I would hope that you have done, and you didn't. So I said, I'm not telling you that you can never talk to the guy again. I'm just saying, make a choice. Lose his number or lose mine. That's it. That's a boundary for me. And Ashley was like, oh shoot, this dude's serious. I'm not okay with you, because I'll never do that with you. I'll never have a girl disrespect you. And you could trust that if you marry me, I'm going to maintain, if I do that in dating, I will maintain the same standard of procedure with you being my wife. I will show the same exact respect. Should one day your body change, should one day your attraction level change in the sense of how we looked in the kid, I'm going to be consistent across the back through good, bad, indifferent, because we're building that boundary right now, right here. Now, there is a degree where like, I was okay with her, engaging with the opposite sex as a friend. I mean, when you're married, I think things need to change, but because we could have not worked out. So I'm not asking her to lose a friendship, because we could not work out. And then she also lost a friend who could potentially even be a partner one day. And I'm mature enough to recognize that. But the moment he disrespected me, I was like, okay, that's my line in the sand. And she had to make a decision on whether like that was going to be okay or not. And she's like, well, my parents may still talk to. I said, I don't care what your parents do. Your mama and daddy don't they don't dictate anything for me. So, well, my mom might be upset because, Bob, I said, hey, it sounds like you got some decisions to make, I don't, it's not. So, but to me, that also set a standard too. That's like, as we've gotten married, you still have to practice that self-discipline. So, that was one of the biggest moments for me that was like, going to show me, even though I don't think she necessarily did anything wrong going to hang out with her guy friend, but it did start to lead him astray, and it led him comfortable enough that he thought he could make fun of me, and he thought that she wouldn't do anything, and she didn't. And so I had to make it clear, like, hey, that's a problem. I'm not insecure. I was fine with you hanging out. Like, he flew you guys out because he's very wealthy. Like, I had no ego with any of that stuff until he showed me his motives were to disrespect me. And then now that's where my boundary comes. And that's where, as we were dating and started to get married, it was more like, your sister's single. I don't care. Like, that's your sister being single. Like, it is not your job as the older sister to make your single sister feel comfortable, engaging in her single lifestyle. It's your job to show other married people what married seasons ought to look like that are trying to divorce proof their future.
Right.
Because if you're trying to keep up with your single friends, guess what? I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a prophet, but you about to be single with them. Like, you want to hang with your single friends, then go ahead and be single. Hang with your single friends.
Yeah, because I think a lot of relationships and marriages would say, and I think it's all at the degree of who you can trust in relationships. Like, it's one of those things, like me, Sanaz, Erica, and Nicole. We do girls' days. Like, that's something, because my husband knows their husband, and we're all held to accountability. And so when it comes down to something like, oh, can I have a girls' night, or can I go out, blah, 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 I'm very honest with who's going to be there. Like, I have one of my closest friend, Lonnie, she's single, and it's one of those, I'm like, I want to do dinner with you. I don't ever want to know. I don't want to ever go out to a bar, and we'll go to dinner. And if we're approached at dinner, there's nothing you can do. But if you're in a bar setting, you're in a setting where you know that's your intention to be there, to meet, to mingle. It's all in setting. And so I think that's, and maybe you can answer to the degree of things. Just when it even comes to women who enjoy dancing and they're like, well, I'm married and I enjoy dancing, but my husband doesn't enjoy dancing. What does that look like? And I would just say, go with this.
You lose out on dancing. You don't dance anymore.
Dance in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I dance in the kitchen
Ashley
all day.
dances at weddings. She loves. I don't dance.
He doesn't dance.
I don't dance for nothing.
Get invited to weddings.
I think
get a
everybody
ton of
looks
friends.
ridiculous when they dance. So when we go to weddings, I dance with our family, blah blah blah. But if Ashley was just like, I'm gonna go with my friends, or I would just be like, hey, I sacrifice stuff being married to you too. There's things I say no to do. Like I've said to many people, many married men, like over here in Victoria Gardens, we have a gym called Gold's Gym, and like all the girls that go to that gym are like half naked. It's not LA Fitness. It's not like there are some girls at LA Fitness, stuff like that, but like for some reason that gym,
it's like a fashion show.
It's just like the women are completely naked. And I'll talk to married guys and I'll be like, dude, I don't, and it's kind of my hint, like, hey, you should really reconsider. Right. I don't know how you work out at that gym. And I actually have a very strong flesh. Like I submit my flesh very well. I don't talk to strangers, so it's like, and Ashley knows that stuff with me. I'm awkward people in general, and I definitely don't talk to strangers. So, like, there is no doubt in my mind that I could go to Gold's Gym and never talk to a girl, never interact with a girl. But the environment to me, I'm just like, I wouldn't do that to my wife. Like, I wouldn't catch FaceTime with my wife with like 3 butts behind me doing squats, like wearing almost nothing. I just have too much respect for Ashley, or respect for other people to see me in an environment like that as a Christian, not a pastor, but as a Christian, to be like, I could have one bad day with Ashley where I'm insecure, or maybe I feel like she's mistreating me, and I just go to Gold's Gym once and there's just a girl that's just like, I love your tattoos,
Ooh,
and,
they sexy.
and I'd be like, oh, which one's your favorite? Like I would never,
it better be the one with me on it.
Yeah.
Me?
I do. I got my wife on me.
Me?
So I do. When I have had that, someone goes like, oh, they'll go be like, a girl will be like, I like your tattoos. And I always go, the one with my wife is my favorite right here. And they go, oh, she's so pretty. And I'm like, yeah, she's beautiful. Thank you. And then I walk away.
Okay. She looks a little smudged.
Yeah. It's a little aged. And she was much younger then. She looks different now, but.
Yeah, and I think also it's like just learning, because I think for me, I've always had, not an excuse, but I've always said, well, I'm just friendly. Like, I'm just talking. Like, it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But I think you come to a realization where you're like, okay, they might not take it that way, even if I'm like, oh, how's your day going? Like, what did you eat for lunch? You know? So it's like, oh, wait, I had to come to a realization where it's like, it's not that I'm being rude. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to continue to engage longer. Or give you a reason to think that I'm interested.
And I think you got to know the person. Like, some people are more kind than others. So like if Ashley was just like she's very talkative and she loves talking to strangers. Ashley's like a golden retriever. Like when humans are around, she wags her tail. So like, I know that about her. So like there'll be times we'll be on vacation and, we'll be like, the kids will be at the pool or something. I'll come up and she's like, talking to somebody, a guy, like, oh, hey, and I walk up, she's like, oh, hey, babe, he's from Chicago. I was telling him that my family's from Chicago. I don't immediately be like, and what else did you talk about? Mm-hmm. I trust that about my wife. Yeah. But we also discussed, as our relationship got more serious, she's aware of what a line is for me. Mm-hmm. And there are like, what that girl did, unfortunately for me, was just not only cross the line, it was dishonorable to her husband, but I don't think just talking to the opposite sex is, so to say, dishonorable. Yeah. I think that, in a society, we can go with a little more kindness and a little more respect. Like that, Ashley's talking to strangers every single day, every time we go on vacation, every time we go, male, female, blah, 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 blah. But like, the moment I walk up, it opens the conversation and engages me and, tells me what they're talking about. And then I meet the guy, shake his hand, hey man, nice to meet you. And then she kind of backs off and then just lets guys talk. And, and I respect that. That's fine. I'm not looking the moment a guy goes like, hey, it's a great day out. Are you guys enjoying your vacation? Ashley to be like, ugh, I can't talk to you. I'm married. I'm like, that's not where I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because some guys go too, what were you talking about, guy? He was just telling me that, he thought our kids were cute, or whatever, it's like, or a girl opposite. If a woman walks up, I get all, when I got my boys, because my boys are so handsome, I always get, other mothers going, your boys are so cute. And I'm like, thank you. Ashley's not like, why you tell that girl thank you? You need,
why did you smile?
My kids is ugly. What you talking about?
Don't
you
smile
even
at them.
Responded like, no,
But I also say, and it also does depend too on body language. Her body language was very inviting.
Oh yeah.
Very, very inviting. So
her back wasn't turned at all, trying to walk away or anything. She's just like,
right. So if I'm
open,
ever engaging with certain people or even with men, if I was facing them here, I turn to the side. I give them my side, and because she was stopped and she was to the side, then she opened up and then she got next to him.
Yeah.
This is inviting. I'm letting you in. You're exposed. We're now facing we're to face. But when guys talk to me, I'm more of like a side, unless they're I'll talk to Gabe and everyone head on. But if I don't know you, you're gonna get a side of me because I still want you to know like I'm running this conversation and I'm going to take it as far or as short as it needs to go. But I think it always depended on body language too, because I'm very I've told Adam stories too when we went to Allie's birthday and we met the guy that had the beard and he had hair product, but he did the beard. She's kind of off, but I'm totally they're talking like this and my back is completely and I'm looking like this at him when I'm talking. And it's not to be like mean or rude, but I want you to know like this is not going anywhere. I'm not inviting you in my space. I'm not inviting you into what I have to say. I'm not going to even engage if you try to talk more. Right. So you as a woman too, like that's what he said, like, some in the comments were saying like, I'm never getting married. And it's all dependent on how the person is inviting. That woman literally opened up her everything to this guy, started spewing. There are things that she said where I was just like, why are you saying that? Mm-hmm. The whole in another life, kids in another life.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, Adam knows, like you said, I'm a golden retriever. The other day I was in Hobby Lobby and I'll give you a prime example of what I do. I have a cart and this guy's walking down with his wife that's in front of him who's shopping and stuff like that. And I start pulling pumpkins down. He's like, don't take all of them. I'm going to take them all before you come get them. And then he starts laughing and then we walk around and then I come back around and he sees my basket. I was like, my basket's more full than yours. Go fill it up. That's my conversation. That's my banter. But it's more of a friendly, not like, where you and your wife going tonight?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like I've never
but
been.
There's some people who are just they're sweet and friendly to anyone. In their conversation. I'm not.
No. Oh,
so
gosh, no.
That would be foreign for me. If Ashley walked up and I was just like, oh, she's blah 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 blah, Ashley would be like, that's not my husband. Like, why are you
so engaged?
Why are you talking to her?
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that because it's out of my personality.
The only time I would accept it is if it was like a pastor's friend it was the woman speaking about her, like in that kind of setting, then the demeanor I know, and it's all based off of how he's giving it off. But like if it was some completely random stranger, that would absolutely be a red flag.
It would
to
be
me.
out of my character,
Absolutely.
And so, but it's not out of hers. So it's just being aware of like in your marriage, what like is comfortable for you, and also what's your personality, what is your level of communication and friendliness and stuff like that. Because there are like, I come from a Hispanic background, and so most women in the Hispanic background, they do like a cheek kiss when you say hello. And so like I'll go to Hispanic churches and almost all the women, no matter the age, they hug you and kiss you on your cheek. And I'm not like, hey, I'm married. I'm like, there is such a cultural element to this and if my wife, now if Ashley was like, I don't want it to happen, then it would put me in an awkward predicament because I'd have to like consistently draw that boundary. But like I would do it if Ashley was like, I'm just not uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable if another woman like kisses your cheek. Then I'd be like, okay, I don't know how to draw that boundary when I'm at a church, speaking at a Hispanic church, but I'll ask God for wisdom on how to do that, because I don't know how to do it without consistently being rude, because it's part of their culture. And then that's where I would maybe start like invite a pastor or counseling to be like, hey, I think my wife is insecure in some areas that are making it very hard for me to do my job. You know, I don't want you to go to that work thing because, you know, you may get hit on. And it's like, well, but this is my work thing. So this is like, you're making it hard for me because do I got to go find a new job? But we like this job. It's good pay. But part of the job is like, I have to go to these work things, but you're saying, cause you're not there, you're afraid of who I taught. So now there's mistrust. And if I haven't given you anything to not trust. So there is a level of security like you do need to build with your spouse. And to me, building boundaries and building trust and open communication, which is where her and I are at, allows, you know, that level of ability where like we're comfortable with each other being in any environment and me knowing like, okay, my wife is going to have my best interest as like her husband to not make me look bad as a husband. So she's not gonna, you know, if a guy turns around, he's like, let me buy your lunch. Ashley's not gonna be like, well, free lunch, blah, blah, blah. She's gonna be like, no, that would be a bad, that would dishonor my husband. I'm not gonna have another man provide me lunch, you know, and I'm not talking about like someone she knows or someone like that. I'm talking like, cause there's strangers that are like, man, you're so pretty, I'd love to buy your lunch or whatever. You know, it's like, I would expect my wife would be like, no, I'm okay. No, my husband takes care of me. I'm good. I got money for my own lunch, you know, or whatever it may be. But an appropriate like standoffish to be like, hey, I didn't need you to do that, and you don't need to do that. That's a boundary. Or like, let me get your coffee. You're so pretty, you know. Like, wait, I'm not a girl, but I'm sure those type of things do happen at some type of way. And so I would hope my wife, in the same way that if I told Ashley one day, if she was like, yeah, it was just coffee. And I'd be like, well, how would you feel if I was in a coffee shop and I turned around and I was like, oh, you're gorgeous. I would love to pay for your coffee. Like, how would you feel? I'd be pissed. So I'm like, exactly.
If she was 80, I want it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd get someone elderly's, you know, or like, you know, yeah, like there's sometimes I'll try to bless someone, like if they have a, you know, like a special needs son or daughter, I'd be like, hey, I'd love to bless you guys. Like I'll do stuff like that at times, but you know, there's always context to it. Not like, I think you're so pretty or, you know, whatever that does happen in real life. And people just go, oh, it's so innocent. And to me, it's not. It's not innocent because you don't know the other person's intent. That's how you can't judge innocent.
So what if the person, I'm just making a joke of it now. So what if somebody comes up to a girl and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. I'd love to buy your drink. And she was like, oh, can I get my husband's too?
Yeah. I mean,
it'll work if the husband's included.
Right? Like, can he get a double mocha frappe?
A venti.
A venti.
yeah.
Knowing my dumb butt, I'd be like, my husband want a bagel. He wants.
Add that to the tab.
Yeah.
Thank you, bye.
But even though I know you mentioned like personality and stuff, but I think even though a person's personality might be that way, I think there's still some chiseling that happens within that, because you can't just be like, well, my personality's so friendly, so I'm gonna like
I think it's the comfort level of your spouse or the person you're serious with. So Ashley has been overtly friendly, and so over the years, like her and I have had to, just like her friend, and there's other things married that we had to walk back, that I had to say, hey, Ashley is a people pleaser. And so she always wants to tell people yes. She doesn't want her family to look at her negatively. She doesn't want her extended family to look at her. So there had been times early on in our marriage where she's like, I'm just going to do this because I don't want to look bad in my family's eyes. And then I've given an inch. It went exactly the way I said it was. And then I go, okay, so next time, like, I got to tighten in like my conviction on this, because I gave you assured me, and I gave you some space, you know, to like, for instance, like we're really early married, and one of her cousins was like having a birthday party at like a bar, you know, and I was just like, Ashley, that's not a good look. Like, I'm a youth pastor. And Ashley's like, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do it. And I go, it's just, your cousins are all over social media. Like I'm not comfortable with it. It's just, I not comfortable with you being married a year in, you know, going to a bar in general with all girls. Like, it's just not what and she didn't want to look bad to her cousins. So she fought me on it, beat me down. You know, you don't trust me. Did every gaslight you could do to get me to the point, be like, Okay. And then sure enough, someone from the church screenshots a Snapchat and goes, what bar is Ashley at? One of her cousins did a little thing of the bar. Ashley at a table with no alcohol, no nothing. She's trying to be there for her family. And literally a member who was a friend, though, what bar is Ashley at? And I literally screenshot the text and I text her because she's like, I talked to my family.
They're not going to post.
I asked them not to post. Just I'm trying to be there for them, but they're making this very awkward for me. And they assured me and blah, blah, blah. And it's not that we're trying to show a fake lifestyle. It's that I wouldn't like her to go in general. But, when you have family, it's hard because what she's doing isn't wrong. Her family's not even there to get drunk. But the Bible talks about don't give an appearance of evil. And so I didn't want that appearance there. And sure enough, I screenshot it and I sent it to her and I said, so you have this under control, do you? And she's like, what? Who did it? Like the actual cousin it's their birthday, who you told, blah, 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 blah. And so literally she came back and she came back home and had her tail in between her legs. And I was just like, can we be on the same page with this? If I'm not comfortable with something, can we be a family? And can you tell people, even if it costs you relationships, to be like, me and my husband, not my husband, me and my husband don't feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. I don't feel comfortable going there. Blah, blah, blah. Can we get on the same page? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think even there at the bar, they're celebrating her birthday or whatever. Like, I think someone came and bought everyone drinks too, like a guy. And Ashley was like, no, I'm good, because she wasn't drinking. But I'm like, you got a guy thinking that he covered for you. Like, I'm not good. I'm not good with any of that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And like, if Ashley said, no, this is my life, you can't control me, then I'd have to make some big boy decisions on what that would look like, mm-hmm. Whether I would want to. Bible says you can't divorce, but it doesn't say you can't separate. So mm-hmm. Would I be separate? Would I separate? Would I fight for counseling? Would I, like there would be things, not just off of that instance, but if she had like a habitual nature of like
one and done, girl.
Yeah. But if she was like habitually like, you can't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah.
And me just be like, I'm not telling you how to live my life. I'm trying to last in marriage with you. I'm trying to make it to 80, like the way it's going right now, we're not going to make it to 30, So it's like we had to consistently build those boundaries where now Ashley would never, someone in her family can be like, I'm having my bachelorette party here. Ashley would just be like, no,
I'm not going.
Hard line, won't be there. Mm-hmm. I'll be there at dinner that night, but I'll be going home after.
Yep.
I won't be there. Where early married Ashley would have been like,
can I
but
please?
That's my fan, and you do not trust me. And I'm like,
right.
It's not about you,
And in reality too, which I mean, not to say that it's not that I don't trust my family. It's also being mindful of the group that you're in and really truly reflecting on, like, do they have your best interests when it comes down to it? Because like, even going back to the video of like, who was she with? Where are her friends? Like, girl, be quiet. Who are you talking to? Like, if someone like because me, Sanaz, Erica, we can all chitty chat. And at one point we'll be looking at, okay, girl, you're talking too much. Like, I get that every Sunday when I'm talking to members. They're like, actually, we're gonna have to put a timer for each member you talk to because you do not stop talking. But it's being mindful of who's in your corner of accountability to say like, hey.
That conversation was going on too long.
Yeah. Right.
I expect my guy friends, like, we have a rule, like we are allowed to snitch on each other at any point to each other's spouses if we feel like they're crossing lines and keeping secrets. Like, we have a rule, and a lot of people don't last in my community because that's the rule. It's and that's Heron, Phil, Aaron, and Nathan, and it's a rule that says if I feel like you are crossing boundaries, I have a right to be like, hey, yo, like, message the wife or talk to the wife, be like, hey, I saw him do this, and he, like, now none of us have ever had to do that with each other, but we have that open, like, that is we have given each other permission to protect each other's spouses. Like, you're not just my boy,
right?
You my boy who's married to my sister,
right?
Not my actual sister Sanaz, but like my sister in Christ. And so you're married to my sister in Christ. So therefore, I have an allegiance to you, but I also have an allegiance to your character as a husband and as a man of God. And so therefore, if I'm checking you and you're like, bro, it's no big deal, man. These everybody friendly with these girls, or everybody, then I was just like, bro, I'm snitching on you. Like you, and if your wife tells me she's cool with it, then she's cool with it. But we've never had to do it, but we have those conversations with each other to say we are our brother's keeper.
Yep.
The wives have had the same conversations. They are their sister's keeper, and we give permission to the people we do life with to say, hey, if I have a blind spot. Maybe I am too friendly to women. I don't speak to women, but if I did, maybe I am friendly. Maybe I am too friendly. Well, you got, tell me, and I need to dial that back because it's coming off as a misread.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because now that I lost all this weight, like it's just very easy to get compliments out in the street. So I just gotta be more mindful.
Mercy. Is that hat fit? Because your head just grew 10 times too big.
No, I be standing next to him on Sundays like, who this? Like, Rebecca.
Why are you so close?
I'm like, I be standing real close trying to listen in. Like, what did she say?
Nancy's behind the.
I know. I know. I don't even look scared.
And they'll be like, no, but they'll like look at Nancy sometimes, or like mostly Nancy.
Because we're literally all around him. Yeah. And I'm like right next to him.
And then they'll be like, if it's a girl, they'll be like, am I allowed to hug you?
No, she does.
And I'll be like,
jujitsu.
you can give me a hug. Because normally they're crying on how much the message has changed their life or the ministry. And so they just, and there's other times they're just bawling. Even guys, like I'll hug guys. And so there'll be times where women will walk up and they'll just start, crying profusely.
No, I know. I get them. I get them after they go, Mike, your husband.
Because then I always tell them hey, go talk to Ashley.
And then I'm like, you set me up because then I'm going to talk to them about their whole life. I found out their birthday, their social security. Yeah.
But you know me, I'm awkward with feelings. So,
no, I know.
If someone comes up to me and they cry.
No, I cried the other day and I stood in front of him and he's like, what's wrong? It's like, I need a hug. And I started crying and I was like, oh my God.
Man, she's got to tell me what to do because my instincts say otherwise.
Oh yeah. And like, I was like, just hold
my
me.
instincts tell me to stand there.
So
she said, please
so
hold
that's why
me.
I'm like, I have no problem
with
it.
You got to tell me what to do.
I literally have no problem with him. Like, cause he's so socially awkward when it comes to that. I'm like, yeah, okay. She would scare the girl off before anything.
Right.
They'd be like, how does Ashley like him?
Yeah.
So normally, they start bawling and then it goes one or two ways. Either they'll say, may I give you a hug? And that's normally when they're like, if they're done or early on, or like, can I hug you? But they're looking at Nancy or someone. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a problem. But if they just start like bawling, then I go like, would you give me permission to hug you? And then they'll be like, yes. And then I like put like an arm around them. But
And
it's
then
more,
it's
it's like
still
a padre. Like I do it. Yeah, I do it like as a priest,
Yeah.
Like a.
I be counting. I'm like, all right, 3 seconds. Let's go.
Yeah. So I kind of go
Keep it
like
pushing.
this. And then I go, I think my wife is somewhere behind me. I encourage you, go chat with her a little bit, you know. And then they're always like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying
It's a mess.
And sometimes they'll come back. I couldn't find her. I'm like, well, maybe next week.
It's either
this conversation is
it's either you or
happening
Phil
anymore.
that will do it too. Phil will be like, oh, actually, I make sure there's so much space in between them. I make sure there's so much space. They can't even, it's like an arm's distance. I'm like, y'all think I'm crazy. Like, I'm concerned.
I know.
I'm 10 minutes into a different conversation.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm so awkward. There's no way. There's no way in all the years of ministry that anything I do could
It's
be
the
misread
best.
as
It really-
flirtatious
it
or
really
something.
is
No,
the
you're
best.
really
Yeah.
good about that. And he's not like, there's never been a time where it's like, oh, that never.
Oh, thank
like,
goodness. Don't
Even
embarrass me.
not working, just like as a member, there's never been a time.
Thank goodness.
ever.
Don't embarrass me.
Ever.
Because anytime like we'll go out or we've gone on vacation or like you said, like I meet somebody, I'm like, oh, come meet my husband, come meet him. And he's like, hey. Like, oh.
Well, yeah, it was our nephew's on your side birthday, and we had a waitress, and then another waitress came and helped us out, and Ashley caught it. She like put her hand like, and for those that are not on audio or on audio, she like puts her hand over her mouth where like I can't see it, and then she like looks at the other waitress and she's like, that's Pastor Adam. She's like tripping out. And then Ashley leans over to me and she goes, the girl right next to you knows who you are. Because I was just like on my phone, just not paying attention.
Right.
And you know, she knows that if you know who I am or you go to the church, like I want to engage with you. I don't
Please
believe
don't be secretive.
I don't believe I have a right to privacy when I'm out in public. So I'm like, yeah, walk up to me, talk to me. So Ashley's like, heads up, this girl, you know, she knows who you are.
Yeah.
And so then I turn around and then I just like look up and I'm just like, hey, what's your name? You know, and she's just like, and she tells me, and she's like, I'm in the Sprint right now. And she starts naming this stuff and talking. And then she goes, I was telling her because, and then our waitress who had been serving us the whole time, she goes, yeah, I didn't know who you were at first, but like now I know who you are. I've been to your church. And then now I reintroduce myself to like our waitress. But to me, like engaging in the opposite sex is not something I naturally do. And so I almost have to, like, if you're not, like, if we don't recognize or we don't make eye contact and I assume we go to church together, I don't look at you. Like if you're the opposite sex, I'm just looking away or what.
Yeah,
I don't engage in any way,
yeah.
you know. Other than politeness, if I'm like walking
Right.
at the mall and someone makes eye contact, I just, hi, good morning, you know. But I'm not engaging with the opposite sex. So Ashley has to always like tell me,
I have to tell
hey,
him.
this person's looking at. If it's guys, I'll look at guys in the eyes and I can catch it. But
his
women,
engagement,
I can't, you know?
his engagement with women, if I were to give you like what it is, he becomes like an 80-year-old man, and they become like these little teenagers. Like he's like the grandpa. He's like,
Papa.
oh, how are you?
Yeah.
Are you having a good day?
What's your name?
What's your name? I'm like,
The best way I think of it is more like a Willy Wonka.
Literally.
You know, like I become.
Yeah,
I
I'll
become
take
Willy
that
Wonka.
over like.
but not creepy.
Willy
Like you
Wonka.
want this lollipop?
Yeah, right.
No,
Come to
like
my
how
van.
Johnny Depp is like it's like it's like a Willy Wonka. It's
Yeah.
like tell me about yourself. Are you married? Are you you're in a relationship? How long you guys been dating? All that, I love that. Or you're single? Oh wow, you should come around church more. You'll find some guys. Like. And then if their kid is somewhere near, and I'll be like, "Oh, what's your name, Junior?"
Yeah, you do that when there's
I get
kids.
really low. I get really low. Put my hands
Yeah.
on my knees. What's your name? Oh, AJ. Oh, hey, AJ. What grade are you in?
Oh, good to see you.
Yeah.
Literally, you described that so well. That's crazy. You guys should swap spots and act like
He
each other.
is the best. And I just know in his head he's like, dunk, 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 dunk.
Just trying to think. They're answering, and I'm just thinking of the next thing
Next
to say to
question.
continue to like. I just want them to feel, because I know naturally like my face is straight or whatever, so I just want them to feel like I am engaged, like, and I
Yeah.
am, but it's like. Because gays don't, like when I'm just with my boys, it's just like, oh yeah, and then I look at my phone or whatever. Like when I'm comfortable, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm not really all that engaging unless you bring up a topic I'm passionate about, then I'm in it,
Yeah.
But otherwise, then I'm just like, So I never
It's
want that
the
to come
best.
off,
Yeah.
that lethargic.
Your
Yeah.
mannerisms are the best. Though.
So I know for Ashley, like if you walked up to Ashley and was like, Adam was so friendly to that girl, Ashley's like, I know what type of friendly he was.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Like he's good.
There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I'm
He was
sure
grandpa
she
friendly.
was scared after.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, like when you like how you guys have a healthy, obviously, relationship, like there's that safe environment where you're not tripping if you do see something because you know your husband or you know your wife. And so,
And it took time for us
Yeah.
to get there, though. Like it did,
Yeah.
because it was just of my insecurities that I had, and then just honestly getting to know him and the way
You
that
got to build trust.
the
Yeah.
way he wanted to protect me, and I wanted to protect him, and that was built over years to where if he were to go, like I'm saying, like now, if he were to go on a guy's dinner and let's just say it ended up going into the late hours, whatever, I don't care. I'm not checking it. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. Just get home safe, please.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not the type where
Yeah.
I'd be like,
But you earn that. You earn that through
Yes,
trust. And you earn that through time, and you earn that through your character. You don't
communication,
you don't just earn that. To
No.
me, you don't earn that. Like
No.
not earn it.
You don't get
earn
it. You don't just
it's
get it.
just not a right.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a right. It's a privilege. So
Yeah.
for my wife to be uncomfortable if we did it for Gabe, like he got married, we all went to San Diego, we went and drove Sea-Doos, we went to dinner, we didn't do no normal quote unquote bachelor because we're Christian men, so it's like went to Ashley's not like give me the play by play, what you doing, know this, know that. She's just like and that's Adam's little brother, you know, Gabe. He's getting married. Like, he's going
Go
to San
have
Diego
fun.
for 2
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to look after Gabe, and
Yeah.
they're all going to chill. And she's, you know, like, but I've earned that. You know, that's not a privilege, me to be like, hey, I deserve to go and hang with Gabe. It's like, well, Adam, last time you came, you had lipstick on your cheek. So,
Yeah.
no, you're not going to go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I told you that was something. Like, no,
That was a
if you
dare.
learn, you know, if you're
Yeah.
if you're losing trust, then
Yeah.
you got to take your licks. You know,
Absolutely.
you got to take them licks
And
till
it
you can
takes
rebuild
both
trust.
of you, yeah,
It
because
does.
obviously your husband created that safe
Yeah.
environment, but then you also have learned to be like, okay, I gotta trust that,
Yeah,
you know, and I've
absolutely.
seen that over and
Yeah.
over again.
And it's being comfortable and confident and having those other conversations with the people that aren't maybe Christian or married, and just having them understand it has nothing to do with you personally in your lifestyle. It has everything to do with my marriage and my union. It has nothing
Friends
to
don't mean nothing to me. This is my family.
Yeah.
My wife's my family. My
Yeah.
kids are my family.
Yeah.
Even my extended family. I love them, but the Bible, I owe nothing to even extended family. I owe everything to my parents, to my wife, and to my children. That is the priority of, like, if someone's like, well, you're going to lose us. I'm like, okay, that is who I'm called to. This woman is who I'm called to. If I lose, even as a cousin, even as a friend, even as a, you know, a sibling, if I lose you because I chose my spouse, I mean, the Bible doesn't mandate me to be a great blood brother. It mandates me to be a great husband who covers his wife, and vice versa. So it's like, I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but
Yeah.
that it's biblical, and to be
Yeah.
a Christian means you hold to those things. You know.
Absolutely.
But yeah, all right, everybody. Great
Oh, yeah, we
episode.
went
we went
for it.
over an hour.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Hopefully
yeah.
this was good. Well
Sorry.
over an hour. We try
Sorry,
to keep
guys.
these 45 minutes. So
Sorry, you talk too much.
you shouldn't have gone to that football players.
Stop.
Stupid. Bye.